Have you ever wondered why some fish show up on your plate ruby pink while others flake apart in snowy white? Maybe you have set a slice of salmon beside a piece of cod and thought, what decides that color? And does it actually change how these fish taste, nourish, and cook? Today we are diving deep into the quiet biology and big kitchen consequences of white fish versus red fish. By the end, you will know exactly what makes them look different in the ocean, behave differently in the wild, and perform differently in your pan. Let's start with the headline difference you can see with your eyes. Red fish such as salmon, trout, and some tuna species carry flesh that ranges from blush to brick. White fish like cod, haddock, pollock, and tilapia are pale and almost translucent before cooking. The engine behind this contrast is muscle chemistry. Inside muscle fibers lives a protein called myoglobin. Think of it as an oxygen reserve tank. Myoglobin holds oxygen close at hand so muscles can keep working when the heart and gills cannot deliver it fast enough. Muscles that are used constantly need more oxygen on demand, so they stockpile more myoglobin and take on a darker color. Muscles that are used for short bursts rely less on that reserve and remain lighter. That physiological split maps onto two lifestyles. Red fish are endurance athletes. Salmon power upstream for days. Certain tunas roam open oceans for long migrations. Trout hover in strong current and swim almost all the time to hold their position. Those sustained efforts demand a steady oxygen supply, which explains the higher myoglobin and deeper hue. Whitefish are sprinters. Many live near the seabed, waiting motionless until food passes, then launching in quick strikes. Because they rest more and burst briefly, they do not need the same oxygen storage, so their muscles stay pale. Different workouts, different muscles, different colors. Color also reflects diet, and here a second pigment steps into the story. If you have ever noticed the peach glow of wild salmon, you are seeing astaxanthin, a red-orange compound created by microalgae and concentrated in tiny crustaceans like krill. Salmon and trout eat those crustaceans. The pigment builds in their tissues, and their flesh brightens. It is the same reason shrimp and lobster turn red when cooked, revealing the pigment that heat releases. Farmed salmon do not forage the same way, so feed formulations include astaxanthin to recreate the familiar color and provide antioxidant benefits. White fish that chase small fish or nibble on invertebrates with little pigment never accumulate that rosy tone, so they remain pale. Texture and flavor follow from those muscles and fats. Fatty, endurance-built fish tend to be richer and silkier because their cells contain more oil. Those oils, especially the omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, help keep cell membranes flexible in cold water. To your tongue, that translates as a full, buttery feel and a more assertive flavor. Salmon and many tunas fit this profile and are often called oily fish. White fish with leaner muscles cook up lighter and milder. They flake easily, absorb marinades beautifully, and play well with spices without stealing the show. If you love a delicate piece of fish that takes on lemon, herbs, or a crisp batter, the white side of the aisle delivers. Nutritionally, both camps are winners, just in different lanes. Red fish bring the heavy hitters for heart and brain health. Omega-3s are linked to reduced inflammation, better cardiovascular markers, and support for cognitive function. You will also find fat-soluble vitamins like D and E carried in those oils. Whitefish are standouts for lean, high-quality protein with fewer calories. They still pack micronutrients such as vitamin B12, phosphorus, and selenium, but without the extra fat. So which should you eat? If you are chasing omega-3s, red fish make it easy. If you want protein that fits a low-fat plan, white fish is your friend. A balanced seafood habit includes both, letting you rotate benefits across the week. Cooking is where these differences land on the stove. Fat is a cushion against heat. Red fish tolerate grilling, searing, smoking, and roasting without drying out quickly. That is why salmon enjoys the grill and tuna can be flashed in a hot pan and served rare in the center. Whitefish demand a gentler hand. Because they are lean, they overcook faster and turn stringy when pushed too far. Gentle baking, steaming, poaching, or a quick shallow fry protect moisture and preserve that tender flake. If you love crunchy fish and chips, Whitefish is ideal because its mildness takes on the batter and the meat stays delicate inside. If you want the bold flavor of a charred edge and a lush center, slide a salmon fillet under the broiler and let the fat do its work. Safety and sustainability matter too. Not all redfish and whitefish are equal in availability or environmental pressure. Some tuna species face overfishing and may carry higher mercury levels, which is important for children and pregnant people to consider. Salmon can be a sustainability success story when sourced from responsible farms or well-managed wild runs, but it varies by region. Whitefish like Alaska pollock and certain cod fisheries are carefully managed and widely available, while others have struggled and recovered over time. Labels help. Look for certifications from reputable organizations or check regional guides that rate fisheries by stock health and environmental practices. Your goal is not just color on a plate, but choices that keep oceans resilient. There is also the question of cost and access. Whitefish are often more affordable and widely stocked in frozen form, which is a smart buy because fish are typically flash frozen at sea to lock in quality. A bag of frozen cod or pollock can anchor quick weeknight meals without sacrificing nutrition. Redfish, especially high-end salmon and tuna cuts, can cost more, and the price reflects both demand and the biology of slower-growing migratory species. If budget guides your cart, consider rotating one splurge night of salmon with 2 practical nights of whitefish to keep both nutrition and costs in balance. Taste preferences count, and they often line up with cooking goals. If you want fish to be the flavor, go red. If you want the sauce to sing, go white. A salmon bowl with citrus and greens needs only salt, pepper, and heat to shine because the fish brings its own richness. A whitefish stew in tomatoes, garlic, and olives lets the broth lead and the fish provide structure and protein. Sushi follows similar logic. Deep red tuna and salmon deliver pronounced flavor and silky texture, while whitefish sashimi offers a subtle bite that showcases the rice and seasoning. So which one should you eat? Here is the simplest way to decide. Choose redfish when you want bold flavor and a straightforward path to omega-3s. Choose whitefish when you want versatility, mildness, and lean protein that adapts to any cuisine. If you eat seafood a couple of times a week, alternate. Salmon on Monday for omega-3s, cod on Thursday for light protein, maybe trout or sardines in between. That rhythm gives your body a spectrum of nutrients while keeping your cooking fresh. Before we wrap, a quick shopper's checklist. Fresh fish should smell like the sea, not like fish. Flesh should be firm and spring back when pressed. Skin should look bright, and if you buy fillets, the surface should be moist, not slimy. For frozen, choose vacuum-sealed portions with no frost crystals or discoloration. When in doubt, ask your fishmonger where and how it was caught or farmed. The answer tells you as much as the color. In the end, the shade of a fish is the signature of its life. Redfish wear the story of constant motion and pigment-rich diets. Whitefish carry the quiet efficiency of short bursts and lean muscles. Both are honest, both are delicious, and both earn a place at the table for different reasons. Now that you know the biology beneath the color and the techniques that make each shine, your next seafood choice will be confident and intentional rather than a guess in the cold aisle. If this breakdown helped you see dinner in a new light, tap like, hit subscribe, and share this with someone planning a seafood night. Drop your favorite fish recipe in the comments and tell us whether you are Team Red or Team White. Thanks for watching Secrets of Everyday Objects, where even a fillet tells a story.